They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold, you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they whisper low. But how far down does freedom go? Why submissive women are happier? Is it the lie or the laughter? Hold your tongue and hold your breath. Is it life or just a softer They sell a dream in a velvet case with lace and rules to keep your place. The crown they give is made of glass.
To all the men listening, when you hear a woman say, "Oh, I'm submissive," well, she might not be the woman you want to bring home. And well, that is because submissive women sometimes are not that type of submissive woman. Submissive is a big word, and it means many different things to many different people. So we're gonna get deep down under the covers about the word submission and what it means to some women versus what it means to other women, and how men who are like, "Oh yes, I found a submissive woman, jackpot." Well, maybe she's just not that type of submissive woman, or the type of submissive woman that you thought you wanted to go in bed with. So she says she's submissive. Maybe she's not. I'm Marianne Delacroix, also known on the internet as Piper Blush. And about 11 years ago, I asked myself why submissive women are happier. Wrote a book about it, spent my years living it with my master. Hey, master.
Hello.
And discovered that, well, I was the answer because I was unhappy, and then discovered submission to my master and became the happiest person on earth. So, well, decided to do this podcast, the Happy Submissive Podcast, where we go over all of these things. Masculinity, femininity, gender wars. We talk about submission and, well, pretty much anything that goes into my book, Why Submissive Women Are Happier, and anything else that is in the news or actualité, as we say in French.
Actualité.
Actualité. But we've been asked this question a lot recently. Like, what exactly is a submissive? And a lot of people have kind of like confronting stories. You have the BDSM world, you have, well, this type of Asian stereotype world, and then you have the I Dream of Genie world. So we're going to go over all of this in this episode.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold, you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they whisper low. But how far down does freedom go?
So let's talk about a woman who calls herself a submissive, okay? Let's go this route first. And you can listen to the Happy Submissive Podcast everywhere you listen to your podcast. That is Amazon, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, and everywhere else too. Make sure that you just ask for the Happy Submissive Podcast. So some women call themselves submissive, but I have theories about this. And Master, you have some too, right?
Yeah, I have a lot about.
You have a lot of things
a
to
lot
say.
about to say about that.
Also, don't forget that we record this episode live from Monday to Friday on YouTube at Piper Blush. So if you want to be there live to ask your questions, to answer, we have Dennis who's there and a lot more people. Well, be there. That way you can interact with us in the live format. So women who say that they are submissive often, well, they say, okay, I'm submissive. That means like you can do whatever you want to me in bed. Like you can take control. You can You can have sex with me. That's fine. I won't say anything. I'm all good with that. But I feel that what she's actually saying, like all these women that say, "Oh yeah, I'm a submissive in bed," especially. What?
Or- I have to say something. I have a lot to say about
Yeah,
this subject.
you do.
Sorry, I'm gonna interrupt you a lot, but you meet a woman. Are you a submissive? Yes, I am a submissive, but they're not. They are not submissive. They just mean I don't know what to do in bed.
Exactly. So this is our first point, is that most women, especially younger, but even not younger, just women in general, don't know what to do in bed. They don't know what they like. They don't know what they want. So they just oblige. They're just like, yeah, I'm a submissive in bed. That way, I don't need to think about it. I don't need to know what I want, what I like, and I know the guy's gonna be satisfied. So I'm just gonna let him do whatever he wants in that way.
Until he comes.
Until he comes.
Then after that, I'm free.
I'm free. It's over. It's done. So she's not submissive. She's just passive, right? She's just there. She's just like things are happening to her, right? There's no interaction. There's none of that. So I call this like the starfish problem. And why the starfish? Because these women, they often go in the starfish position. Well, just like a starfish. So you open your arms and your legs. Okay, maybe you can put them under your head if you're feeling...
Make a little bit of noise. Not too much.
Not too much noise.
Because I don't know what I like, so
I'm just going to fake it?
Fake it. Exactly.
Fake it. Or sometimes even no noise at all.
Fake the noise.
Fake the noise. It's not bring the noise. It's fake the noise.
Fake the noise.
So...
Do you mind faking the noise a bit?
That was one fake noise.
It was a good fake one.
Thank you. So when you know the real noise, it's easier to fake it. But now with pornography and movies, like you can definitely, even though you haven't had an orgasm your whole entire life, you can definitely fake the noise.
Yeah. Because all women know how to fake the noise.
Yeah, it's widely available. You can imitate many of them that are already out there.
If we make a podcast about
fake orgasms,
fake noise, it will last 5 minutes because we don't know the difference.
Because men don't know the difference.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, it's hard to tell. It's hard to tell. There's some physiognomical things that happen apart from the noise from the mouth, but I mean, still, you need to really be in tune and really look. And even some of those could be faked in a way, like they could.
And I'm gonna give the guys a tip.
Okay.
To know if the women had a real orgasm. Because I know. And most women don't even know about that.
Oh, you're going to give it at the end?
No, next episode.
Oh, next episode. Okay,
not the next one. Subscribe, people. Subscribe.
Subscribe to the Happy Submissive podcast, wherever you're listening to it right here, right now. So she lies there. She doesn't move. She doesn't really make noise. She just exists. So she's like a starfish on the beach, right? She's passive. She's waiting for you to be done in that way. And this is awful. And this is often associated to the Asians, right? It's the Asian stereotype. Like you go to Thailand and you pay for a woman in Thailand or in Madagascar or in like, unfortunately, some of these countries. And like, so you just have sex with her, but she's just there laying on the bed. And that's it.
She's not submissive.
No.
She's passive.
Exactly.
Not the same thing.
Yeah, but there is something to be said about like this Asian stereotype of the submissive in bed type of woman. And we're not talking like Japanese makes a whole bunch of noise and has like these fantasies.
Anti things.
No, we're talking like really the starfish, the woman that just in the bed and that just waits for you naked there. And then you do whatever you want and you leave. That type of stereotype. It's a thing. I mean, it's a thing. We've seen it.
With a lot.
I
experienced it a lot.
You experienced it too as a man? The woman that like didn't know and just...
Yeah. Thousands of times.
With
the same girl.
With the same girl. Well, okay, that's better, I guess. So it's not sexy, right? It's just it's kind of transactional. Not because there's necessarily money. Of course, some places and with some girls it is a transaction. If you're paying for a prostitute, it's a transaction. But if not, she's really just waiting for you to finish. So there is this kind of transaction. She does nothing, you do whatever you want, and then like you said, you leave. and that's it. And she
And
stays
put the
there.
$20 on the
The 20 bucks
On the table.
on the night table.
night.
So there's no connection. There's like no passion. There's nothing. And I really like this phrase. Like, you're basically masturbating with another person's body.
Remember that Louis C.K. skits
Yeah.
when he says like he's using his wife and
Oh,
with
okay.
his own hand to masturbate.
Oh, okay.
That's the best he could have. Interaction with his wife.
Oh, okay.
That's sad. That's super sad.
That's sad.
Give me your hand. I'll do the gesture myself.
I'll do gesture, but at
Just
least
because it's your hand.
I'll feel
it's
like-
better than mine.
this would be different. It would be different. I mean, I think it makes sense, right? But again, like, so if you're in this situation where you have this woman that does more of a starfish in bed, well, you're stuck with this. You're stuck with the fact that she's just passive. It's not real submission.
No.
And we'll go over what is real submission in a moment. Don't worry, just stay right there. And you're going to be very disappointed as a guy because there's no back and forth. There's only you do your thing and then you leave.
That's
and
it.
that is it. So since Master, you've shared that it happens to you thousands of times, let's ask our audience.
Okay, let's ask our audience. Have you been with a starfish?
Have you been with a starfish?
Don't answer. We know the answer.
Well, don't tell the name like in the comments. But
Don't tell it's your sister. That's going to be weird.
that's gonna be really weird. But please do tell us. Do tell us if you've had this experience and how you felt. How did that make you feel? Did you feel like you were abusing? Did you feel bad and empty afterwards? And tell us how that made you
Did
feel.
you cry after?
Yeah, exactly.
Did she cry?
Did she cry after? If you're a woman, same but different. Have you ever done that? Been like,
Yeah.
oh, okay, I'm just gonna.
Can you be honest and say like I've done the starfish?
I've done the starfish.
Have you done the starfish?
I have done the starfish. I think
Everybody
all
did the
girls
starfish.
did the starfish at one point. I mean, it's not that you're tired necessarily, but you just, you don't know. And especially when you're young, like you have these things you want to do, but you're not sure. And so sometimes you just, I don't know. I'll just wait.
Suki does the starfish all the time.
Suki is a very starfishy type of woman. Okay, you leave us your comments.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong?
So why men think they want the submissive woman? Which is true. Men want submissive women.
Yeah, all men want a submissive, but they don't want a starfish.
But not this type of submissive woman. Not the starfish type. Not the passive submissive. So it's kind of like the fantasy, right? If you go to like, submission. Yeah, so do whatever I want in bed. We can do whatever position. She likes facials. Like whatever you like, she will like, right? That's kind of submission in its form. That's what you're thinking about. And also, well, you don't have to worry about her preferences, right? If she says, I'm submissive in bed, which is passive, you're like, okay, I don't have to make her come, right? I can just...
No need. She's a star.
Exactly, she's a starfish. I can just do my thing. I don't worry about her. And then, okay, that's kind of a relief, right, for some men. Then, well, again, if she's a starfish, you're in total control. She doesn't, and we're not talking she's tied up. Like we're just talking she's very, very passive. So you can really exert control. You feel like, I can do whatever I want, and this is a bit self-gratifying in that way. Like to have some type of control.
If I'm thinking right now, when a woman's like that, and a guy is having fun with the women, most of the time, since you don't have a response, you don't know what she likes.
Exactly.
And this is bad.
Well, we're getting there.
And the note.
Oh, love the notes. Well, so exactly, it's boring. Because you're
Super
just
boring.
because there's no response, like you said. There's literally no response. You have no feedback, so you don't know if she's really enjoying it, if she's faking it, or if you're actually like hurting her and she's not saying.
Oh yeah, maybe you,
This is
maybe
possible.
you didn't chop your nails.
Yeah, maybe you didn't cut your nails.
Use a glove.
Yeah, gloves
gloves
help a
at
lot with the nails. And you might, at the end feel like a selfish asshole. You've just had sex, you came, and then you don't know if this other person, if this woman has had any pleasure, if she actually likes you, if she liked what you've done with her, to her, in that way. So I feel like maybe most men would feel like they're using that woman and not like it's an interaction.
We got Greg. What did Greg say about his third and fourth
I don't
girlfriend?
have Greg.
You don't have Greg?
No, I don't have
Hi,
Greg.
y'all. Hi, y'all. Hi, Greg. My third and fourth girlfriend was a starfish. I had to ask her if she wanted to open her legs up more.
Oh, okay. So she was kind of closing her legs, so she didn't want to have sex.
It happens to me once when I was like a teen.
A teen? Yeah.
You know, when you're just kiss and you're not like doing the sex thing.
Oh, before, yeah,
And
early.
I had this girlfriend. I don't even remember her face. So was that a girlfriend or
Okay.
you know? And she was never opening her.
Her legs
I
were
think her
tight.
mom told her, "Don't do that. Never open your legs.
So she just closed.
Close like
Yeah, like you could not put nothing in between there.
you cannot like rob or anything."
No, it doesn't go
I
there.
don't even remember her name.
Oh, it's fine.
But she had a pinball in
Machine.
her basement.
Okay, if you know yourself.
If you're listening to this podcast,
But
please write me a comment. Tell me your name.
tell me your name. So what Greg says is that, his third and fourth girlfriend were starfish. That means, so they didn't know what they want, right? And they let themselves like be there for you, for your pleasure in that way. But this is really bad. This is really bad in the way that you were saying, Master, that it's fake. You don't know. And you want interaction from your partner. You want to know if you're doing something right. Like, this is even more rewarding, right? When you can make a woman come and you know, like, she really enjoyed herself and you both enjoy yourself. There's like this feedback loop.
I have a tips
You have a tip?
for the girls.
Okay.
So, people, for the end of the episode.
Okay.
So if you got a girl, bring your sister. I'll help your sister out. Send her the link right now. So we can bring her. I have a tips for the end of this podcast.
Perfect. Let's do the tip at the end. So real submission, it requires that you know yourself, right? Real submission requires that you have some knowledge about your very own sexual pleasures, desires, fantasies, what you like, not like. It's fine to explore. I think we explore throughout our whole entire life, right? It's not because you liked something when you were 18 that you'll like the same thing when you're 30. Maybe you'll have done that enough, or maybe you're with a different girlfriend and she likes something a bit different. So that makes you like it too. This kind of like feedback, right?
Like Craig says, I felt bad for asking, but I wasn't sure if she wasn't into me or what. Exactly that. When you're with a starfish, you don't know.
It's like so there's no communication, right? There's
exactly that.
You have no idea. You're dealing with a Suki. You're dealing with a sex doll. Is it the same thing?
We love you, Suki.
Yeah, we love you, Suki.
We can see her in the second head.
Oh wait, is it the head there? Sort of like a little bit
just
of
in the
her.
corner.
Yeah, her hair, her blonde hair. Well, it makes sense that like as a human being, like you know she's another person. You know she has feelings. You know she has desires, even though she's not showing them. They're there somewhere. You know she might be trying to please you in a way, which is nice. But in the end, you want to know. You're having this relationship with a human, not with a real doll. So you want to have some type of, I liked when you did this. Oh, that's kind of too much. and there's no exploration, right? You can't really do like tantrism and do different sexual position or the Kama Sutra when your partner is just not receptive and not communicative.
Stay tuned for my tips.
Okay, well, stay tuned for Master's tip.
Subscribe.
So you need as a submissive, as a real submissive and not as a passive submissive, you need to engage. You need to make some of these things on your own. You need to ask for things too. You need to play with yourself. You need to play with your partner, and you need to already like go into it with communication. You can try to be the starfish for one time, but just say it. Say like, can I try just to be a starfish? Can I try to just like
Cinderella
what?
thing? You know, when you sleep and what is
Oh,
this?
Sleeping Beauty.
Sleeping Beauty.
Yeah.
Starfish. Most of the female that says like I'm a submissive, and in reality, it's just the Sleeping Beauty
So
kind of thing. So
Yeah, they kind
I
of
close my eyes
and wait.
and wait till it's over.
Because it's really, there's no reception. There's like nothing there. So if she doesn't know what she likes, and if she doesn't know what she wants, then she's not really submitting anything. She's not letting you take the lead. There's no lead to take. There's nothing to take. I can grab the starfish from the beach. It's not going to do anything, right? But try to do that with a crab.
Oh.
It's gonna be a bit more complicated. Like the crab has some, it's
Defense
feisty.
system.
It's feisty. So when a crab submits to you, it feels way better, right? Than when the starfish does. The starfish is just does that anyways and already. So you don't feel like you've dominated, or if you've talked, or you have like this great power over the starfish. There's nothing there. There's really nothing. You're not dominating anything. You're not doing anything like that. So it's not really, I guess, gratifying for a man to be in that type of relation. It's better if a woman who has somewhat experience and knowledge about herself decides, okay, I want to submit to you. I want us to do this. And by submitting, she doesn't just say, okay, do whatever you want to me in that way. It's like she's still open and communicates.
We can go like, do anything you want with me. This is fine. We love that. Stay tuned for my tips.
So I want to know, for most of the men who are listening and women who are listening, would you rather have a woman who knows what she wants and lets you lead because, you already know each other, or a woman who has no idea and just lies there? I mean, if you haven't tested it, maybe that's something you kind of want to test once in your life. But we're talking in a relationship, like in a real relationship, to be with a woman. What type of woman would you rather like make a life with? The one that chooses for you to lead, or the one that just starfishes?
They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they whisper
low. You are listening to the Happy Submissive podcast. I'm Marianne Delacroix, and I'm here with my master.
Hello.
You can listen to the Happy Submissive podcast wherever you listen to your podcast. Don't forget to follow, subscribe, turn on the bell notifications so that every time we release a new episode, which is 6 times a week, from Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. Vancouver time, and on Saturday, it's sort of a brunch. It starts at 12 Vancouver time. So make sure that you do that. Now, in my book, Why Submissive Women Are Happier, I actually have this segment, like this part, where it's in chapter 16, where after Master collars me, I have the collar for like not that long. I go with my childhood friends, 2 of my really good childhood friends. We go together. Yeah.
Best chapter.
Best chapter.
So far, with all the people I've read, mostly men, sorry about that, women, mostly men, they said like it was one of the best chapters of the book.
Yes.
And when I read your book, you know, when we were like working on it, I thought it was like one of the best chapters. The way you said the story, because I was not there.
No, you weren't there. Exactly. We were very much together. But for chapter 16, well, Master was not there because I go on a trip with these two childhood friends. We were childhood friends since I think, well, me and Karine, like 1st grade in elementary school. And then Pascal arrived in 3rd grade. And then we stayed friends through like high school and then cégep or uni. And then, well, as young adults too. So after Master collars me, I go with them on this trip, and I'm Piper Blush, right? I have started. We're doing the art of blowjob. We are doing like all of our videos and all that.
We were popular. What was
We were
it
not on
before?
YouTube yet.
We were not on YouTube.
No, it
yet?
was before YouTube. It was before YouTube. Didn't have had the breast augmentation either. It was like in between, like in between these days, and it was fall, fall in Quebec. So I get there with them to like the apartment, Karine's apartment, before we go to Quebec, and so my collar does cling cling. As that,
Do it.
yeah, like this. It does like this because I'm going to get some crackers, and I know the girls had kind of seen the collar because I hadn't like mentioned it, right?
Okay, we need to when we colored you. It was the fashion of all the girls wearing those collars without knowing what it was. Those fashion.
There was a lot of the fashion collars. It kind of came back from the 90s. it really came back. It came
Maybe
back
from the 60s.
maybe from the 60s and then maybe from the early 2000s. So it kind of came back. It was in fashion. So the girls, when I saw them, like the first, like, hey, how's it going? They didn't say anything, but I knew like they might have some questions, and I was gonna tell them about the story behind the collar, about where I was wearing this collar, but my collar minting thing, and then Karine just went full on like, "Are you a submissive now, or what?"
Or what?
Or what? Okay, I'm not saying it like exactly in the book, but that's one of the first things she said, and then I had to explain myself, right? I wanted to explain myself. I wanted to say I'm a submissive now, and the collar is a symbol of my devotion.
I remember, she said, "Are you a submissive? What? Do you have a leash?"
Yeah, she said that.
She said that.
Yeah, do you have a leash?
And unfortunately, you said yes.
Unfortunately for me, I did not lie. And so the rest of my weekend with these childhood friends was a lot of defending myself about my lifestyle, about what I was becoming, about this clash with Karine, which is a feminist, right? And this non-clash with Pascal, which was a bit more open-minded and philosophical about the whole thing and kinks and all of that. So at one point, Karine literally said, like, okay, let me find it. She literally says, "Do you just lie there while he does whatever he wants?" And I say, "I'm not a starfish." And then we all start laughing. And that kind of decompresses the atmosphere a little bit. But so she would kind of attack me with all of these questions that were not really questions. They were meant to really like
attack. It was attack.
Attack and diminish
You're not
me.
a submissive. I know you.
Yeah, that
you
too.
You don't even know what a submissive is.
Yeah, because you're saying all these things. You're saying I'm he does whatever he wants, and I don't like react. I don't do anything. Then she was saying, "Well, you don't have any freedom," and I was like, "I'm here with you girls for like 3 days. We're here having fun. I have freedom. I can do whatever I want. What do you mean? I'm not sequestrated."
I remember one day she went to our home in Westmount.
Yes,
and I showed her how to with a dildo.
Yeah, how to jack off a guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I showed her. She didn't even know how
to
do this.
Yeah.
And she's the one attacking you. Are you listening right now?
I hope she is. Of course, all names have been changed for legal and private reasons. But that was fascinating, right? To get with these childhood friends that think they knew me. I think Pascal knew me the best, so she was really not surprised about any of the stuff I was saying. But Karine had this idea in her mind that I was this type of person, and when I kind of came out with all that I was and my new projects and what I was doing, it was just a huge clash for her. And so she believed that I was this submissive that wasn't doing nothing and that was receiving, and that I was getting beaten and I was getting
all the bad stuff.
All the bad stuff you could imagine. That's exactly what she thought. But each time we started talking about it, then she was confronted with the fact that it wasn't that, and that kind of blew her mind.
Because she could not understand anything that you were saying.
I think no, she couldn't.
She was not understanding.
well, she didn't want to either, right? She wasn't receptive in that way. I want to say hi to Midnight Smoke, Greg, who's there, Javier as well. Thank you.
Hello, Piper, and hello, everybody in the comment section. You've been saying that for a long time. Thank you, Javier.
Yes, it's been...
My Spanish is fine.
It's been saying that forever. So that being said, I mean, I had to really, really like show them the difference between, well, we've discussed on this podcast slave, but about the passive submission and being a submissive, that I had all these things. Like I had my knowledge, I had my consciousness, and I was this accomplished woman who could find a job if I wanted to, who could have any man, but I chose this life, I chose this relationship, and I chose it every single day. And I chose to wear the collar because that's a choice I decide to make every single day. And that was very, very I guess mind-opening on the real world, how the real world sees like our relationship in that way, especially coming from, I guess, family, childhood friends and things like that, because they have really this conception of you. They have like this drawing of you in their head, and when you go against that, they freak out.
Totally freak out. You're not like that. What do you mean?
You cannot tell me I'm not like that. I'm it's me. I should know me, right? more than you know me in that way. So I believe that real submission doesn't mean that you should just
anal.
Huh? Anal? That you should just do whatever and not ask questions and not know yourself, right? Or not try to grow yourself within that.
Yeah.
It's not a thing. It's not a thing. So if ever you've read chapter 16 of Why Submissive Women Are Happier, well, tell us what you think about it. If you haven't read it yet, well,
buy the book.
It's in the book.
You need to read the book. We need more. Actually, we're pushing sell. Of course, we want to sell the book, but we want people to tell us what they think about the book. This is really important because it's the beginning of this adventure.
Yeah.
So we need feedback.
We need feedback. We need a lot of feedback. And also, like, the book is the complement of the podcast, right? Or the podcast is the complement of the book. They go together. The book is really like, it's 10 hours of our life.
And it's available in audiobook. And it's less expensive than a coffee in Manhattan.
It's true.
Remember that, folks.
Yeah. So, women, do you know what you'd actually like in bed? Like, do you? Like,
I have a tip.
Yeah.
For the end of the...
You do have a tip. And like, I just want more women to go on this discovery, right? This path. And to try to figure out what they like. Just one thing. Find one thing you like. Try it out. And that will really change your sex life.
Yep.
If you know what you like, you can ask for it, and then your partner, your master, your man partner, well, he will gain more pleasure doing something that he knows you enjoy as well. No man wants to abuse.
We should make a booklet for happysubmissive.com about my tip at the end.
Okay, we'll do that. The tip at the end of the podcast. Oh yeah, so if you want to actually support the podcast, go to happysubmissive.com. You can join for free. You get access to 2 booklets right now, one for women, one for men. So if you're a woman, you'll get the woman one. If you're a man, you'll get the man one, on how to find a partner. If you're a woman, it's how to find a man leader. And if you're a man, it's how to find a submissive woman. Again, not a passive starfish. How to find a real submissive woman. There's also, well, Lily, our uncensored AI, that likes to talk dirty.
She needs attention. It's been a long time. Nobody played with her. And she doesn't wear panties. She told me that.
Yeah. She can put them back on, take them off. She can do whatever. So go to happysubmissive.com.
And she's not a starfish. Not at all.
Not at all. She's not passive at all. If you don't want to go right now, just keep it in your bookmarks and go right after the show.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong? Bow your head, they whisper low. But how far
men actually want. Well, that's the good thing we have Master on the podcast.
Yeah.
I mean, men want women who know what they like, right? They don't want to play this guessing game and this like, oh, I need to read your mind game. Like you don't have telekinetic powers.
we don't
You can't read my mind.
Telepathy doesn't work.
It doesn't
if you
work.
believe in that, consult.
Please do.
Please do consult.
It does not exist.
If you believe in the occult, please consult.
Yeah, that too. So men want women who know a little bit what they want, so they don't have to do all the work. I mean, we're not talking about not being dominant. We're just talking about if the woman really doesn't know, you have all this charge on you to figure out what she likes. Like all of that lays on you. Guys don't need women to tell them what they like, right?
It's super easy.
Yeah, in, out, done.
That's it. 5 minutes. It's now. Can we play now at something else?
Let's go play video games.
Yes.
So we can't put all of that like super heavy burden on men to figure out what women want. It's not because they come faster than us in general, and it is a truth. That it's their responsibility. It's women's responsibility.
Remember when we were to the swinging clubs?
Yeah.
At one point, they had this couple next, and the women, they were making love, because I'm not going to say the F word.
Yeah.
They were making love, and the women just closed their eyes.
Yeah, we went to swingers club.
And waiting, and you're there to see. And women still close their eyes because it's hard for women to come.
Yes. They need
and that's sad.
They need different things. So most of them do close their eyes. It's a thing.
Yeah.
Women close their eyes. Yeah, to come.
Close your eyes.
Like this.
And you need no smile. You need
no
to
smile.
be concentrated.
Okay, I'm concentrating.
Yeah, and
Like that.
I don't know what you imagine in your head, but you need concentration to come. Men doesn't need concentration that much to come.
It's a very different game. So men want women who will know what they want and will respond, right? Make noise.
Make noise.
I mean, and there's a few women out there who don't, for very various reasons. But in general, you want her to make noise because you want to know if you're doing it right. If something, like, it's a form of communication. You
Yes.
don't need to say yes, no, right, left.
Oh my God. There is no God. Don't say, oh my God.
Don't say, oh my God, in bed. Just say the person's name. I think it's better.
We don't say, oh my Mohammed or oh my Allah. We don't say that. No.
I don't think they do either in their religion. I think that'd be kind of like a sort of blasphemy.
Do they say, oh my God?
I don't know. Do they say, oh my God?
Leave a
if
comment.
you're a religious background,
If you're Muslim,
I mean,
and we don't know why you still believe in that,
yeah.
just tell us.
And
Do
you
you
say,
say, oh my God in bed?
Oh my God in bed. The oh my God quote. For
Oh
who
my
is
God.
it for?
Can an atheist say it?
I
What
mean-
does it mean for an atheist when he say it?
Yeah. I don't think it's, well, okay, you say it because it's in the commonality of the language. I try to never say that. Hey, Xavier, thank you for being there. But I mean, even though some people are using your real name now.
They do.
Yeah, in the comment section. I think they're doing
Why?
that
They find it?
because they read the book. Those are the guys who read
Oh,
the book.
those are
So
the
they
guys who
know
read the
you.
book.
Yeah, so they know you more intimately than all the other people. So you want her to respond. You want her to be like engaged, active, and to be like, yes, no. And the moaning helps. If you're not faking it, like put it at places where it matters, right?
Yes, exactly.
That would be better. And moaning is not enough. It's not because you're moaning that might, like, the guy might assume, okay, this means yes. It not necessarily. So
No.
you also need to talk. It's okay to talk while you're having sex. There's no problem with that. It's not like a quiet environment. Like, please, library, do not talk. You can talk
Yes.
when you have sex. There's not a thing that says, oh, we're having sex.
And it's
Let's not
hard.
use words.
I have to say, this is sometimes some women talk a lot, and this is surprise you. As a man. You're oh Jesus, she talks, and this is because I don't talk much.
Yeah.
This is kind of thing that make me shy.
I don't talk much either, but we do talk.
We talk a lot, but
But we don't like sex talk.
yeah, we don't do that.
No, we talk about anything. Which, I mean, it's different for every couple. Well, I guess we're intellectuals that way. We like to talk about anything while having sex.
But not sex.
But not necessarily
We're not
sex.
into that. It's hard.
Of course, but it's different, right?
Yeah.
The shyness, maybe, the like having to talk in this way, and then the dirty talk is completely different. Some people like it, some people are frightened by it, they don't like it at all. It really depends on the person. I think there's an amount of dirty talk that everybody likes, but then there's like that amount of dirty talk which not everybody is okay with.
Oh, you talk too much.
It's just like, oh, okay, that's a lot.
When we had the Cocoscope, I remember Unicorn with a K.
Yeah.
I watched one of her video once and she was talking.
Okay.
Like a lot of talking. And it surprised me.
So some girls like to talk. Some guys too. I mean, it's both genders for that one. So what you don't want is a passive woman. I think we went over that. You don't want the passivity. You want the submissive woman, and so you don't want a girl who just obeys you, does the starfish and just obeys. And
No.
you want a girl who wants to obey you, which is completely different.
Yeah.
Who wants to surrender, who wants to please you and do things for you, but for her as well. And like Xavier says, communication est la base de toute relation. So communication is the basis of every relationship. And this is true. We talk all the time.
We talk too much.
And we've been together 11 years. So I think this is a good.
If we go see a psychiatrist,
Yeah.
he's going to ask, do you talk? Do you guys communicate? We would say too much.
Yeah, probably too much. But more than any people
Yeah.
out there. Even when we have people over or friends, we always tell ourselves, okay, let's not talk.
Let's not talk.
Let's try not to talk as much as we usually
need to
do.
concentrate not to talk.
Exactly, because it's hard for us. So so there's this difference between, we've went over like the passive woman, the submissive woman, and now enthusiasm and obedience. So like Jeannie in I Dream of Jeannie
Yes.
would be like this enthusiasm, like this enthusiast submissive, this happy submissive in that way. But then you have these other submissives they will do the chores, they'll do the kitchen, the cleaning, they'll do the starfish, but you're not getting any enthusiasm, you're not getting any interaction, you're not getting the happy submissive movement out of the submission. And you don't want that. You want happy submissives. This is the most important thing. So I feel like most men would rather have a happy submissive than a starfish.
Yes.
Yeah, so far
We would all agree, except those Cinderella
Sleeping Beauty fetishes. Yeah, but that's a fetish. That's a bit different. So how can you spot the difference? Let's help you guys out. And then, Master, you're gonna tell.
I'm gonna tell my tip after that.
Yeah.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all
belong? How to spot the difference between a passive submissive and a real submissive? Well, the passive submissive is definitely gonna tell you things like, oh, I don't really know, I'll let you decide, I'm not sure, I'm not picky.
But do the dishes.
But they're probably gonna do the dishes.
No,
What?
no, they're gonna say, do what you want with me and also do the dishes.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't know anything.
Yeah, because I
Sorry,
don't.
didn't work my answer. Continue.
No worries. So they're gonna be like super easy, right? They're gonna be this very malleable type of woman. What you want is not that. You want the girl that says more like, oh, I love it when you do this. I love it when you take charge. I would like for us to do more of that. Can you do that? It's gonna be more of this this interaction between the two, and not just do this to me. And she will know a bit of her boundaries, so she's gonna ask you to push those boundaries and those limits. Like, can we try this in that way? So there's an engagement. There's something coming from that woman. She's inputting into the relationship. It's not just you taking all the decisions and doing all these other things in that way. And then if we go, like Master, you were saying, for those other submissives that might do the starfish and be let's say more on that side, well, there is a chance that they will still tell you as a man, like, oh, do the dishes, or oh, you didn't clean up your socks, or oh, you didn't whatever, you didn't take away your beard hair in the bathtub. Things like that.
You're still playing games with console.
Huh?
You don't do anything except, playing video games.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, in that way. Okay, so Master, you had a tip
Yeah, I have a tip.
for women?
Okay. It's super easy because I think sexually it's really hard to tell what you like, and because there's always the shyness because of the freaking religion that,
Has destroyed
destroy
our sexual liberties.
our sexual life. So think of it as like the cats.
like the cats.
Cats.
Okay.
If women would behave like a cat, especially female cat,
Yeah.
but male cat do that too, but especially like a female cat. When you have a cat, you scratch them on the head and they twist.
They open up.
They open up there and they go like they lie down. But if you scratch it in the belly, they're gonna freak out. Your hand's gonna disappear right there. But if you scratch it next to the tail, they're gonna react. Cat tells you what they like.
Yeah, and they can communicate else because they don't speak. Huh?
Yeah, they don't speak.
They don't have language.
Without anything, you can know what the cat's like. Women are exactly like that. So if you grab her hair and pull, and she bites you, she doesn't like it. But
Makes sense.
But if she moves and she does things, even in some kind of a passive way, some kind of a submissive way, you can feel what, but it's gonna react just like a cat.
When she's gonna scratch.
Scratch a cat near the tail. He's gonna like it a lot. Scratch it next to the ear. Women exactly the same thing. But women needs to behave like a cat.
Well, so they need to show. That's what you mean. You need to show that when it happens. To open up, to
As
be
an
receptive.
example, if we had a cat.
Yes.
not neighbor's cat.
Yeah.
Not the neighbor's cat. Nobody guessed whose cat it is.
No.
It's a freaking popular cat.
Yeah, it's a popular cat.
It's a popular cat.
Nobody
on the
guessed
internet.
it.
Nobody
Yes.
guessed it.
Plus, like we put some clues in the song.
We put some
Some
clues
pretty
in the song.
easy clues in the song.
Exactly. Nobody
So
realized that.
you
Whose
guys
cat is this?
Go check that out on
And I made a mistake.
the Piper
Whose
Blush.
cat is this?
The Piper Blush experiment.
Go to find
Whose cat is this?
I made a song. So I was talking about the cat.
Yeah, and women being like
See,
cat.
If you're with a woman that do a starfish and you have a cat, let's take this example, and she pet the cat and the cat goes like making sound and she scratch and everything and the cat seems to like it.
Yeah.
I would tell, see, you need to do this in bed. You need to imitate the cat.
Yeah.
If you're like a cat in bed,
I will understand it. It's going to be more fun.
Exactly. That was my tip.
That's a good tip. Thank you for the tip, Master.
Okay.
We can clap. We can clap.
Nice tip.
Nice tip. Super nice tip. So, don't settle for the starfish. If you have sex with a woman on the first date, or the second date, or the third date, or whatever, I mean, she's gonna be a starfish. It's gonna be very hard to get over that because you're gonna need to like make her discover herself. You're gonna need to like facilitate that. If she doesn't speak, if she doesn't engage, like she hasn't found herself yet. So it's gonna be a lot of work for you as the man to unpack all of this and get her to discover. And chances are, since she doesn't really know what she wants, there's a chance that maybe you are not compatible in the end. Maybe what she likes is not what you like. That happens too. So in that sense, try to find a woman who already knows herself a little bit. And I knew myself a little bit when I was like 22. So we're not saying that you necessarily need to find a woman that's 40. Not in that way.
But you could try.
You could try. Well, you could. I don't know how old you are, but I mean, go for that. Go for the exploration and explore together. Go for someone who actually already knows a little bit about themselves, who masturbates. That's also a good thing. Like those who don't masturbate, it's a lot harder to have a partner who has never touched themselves. And to have all of this on you is
huge. And if you find a woman that says, I never had an orgasm, run away.
Yes.
Run away. Don't be like, oh, I'm going to show you. No, those women will never learn.
You
A
have
man
to.
cannot show that to a woman.
It has to be either another woman or herself. Like, it's better that way. They need to do it on their own first. Then they can go out in the world and get it again.
Exactly.
Don't put that on you. Don't put that on you. It's not your burden. It's not your task as a man to please all the women around. Women can do that for themselves. They should do that for themselves. We had sexual liberation. We have dildos now in pharmacies. So, I mean, this is fine. Women can do it. Women should do it. Men, don't go through all the trouble, please. If you want more of the Happy Submissive podcast, make sure you go to happysubmissive.com. This is our community, where all the people who listen to the podcast go. You can listen to all the episodes on there, actually. There's also a member login, which is free to join. That allows you to chat with us, Master and myself, and also everybody who has joined. It is $4.99 a month. Canadian dollars.
So that's really cheap.
Yes,
it's the price of a coffee at McDonald's, not Starbucks.
Exactly. To support us into making more podcasts. If you haven't read the book yet, go to happysubmissive.com. There's a link there to get the book, Why Submissive Women Are Happy. Yes, and you'll understand, well, all of Master and I's relationship.
We need feedback.
Yeah.
We need feedback.
We need a lot more feedback before we get it out there on the big platforms like Amazon and all these other ones. So right now it is only available on mdelacroix.com, or if it's easier for you, just go to happysubmissive.com. We'll see you there right now because this is the end of the podcast for today. But we will be back from Monday to Friday, 9 a.m. Vancouver time, and on Saturday at 12 p.m. Thank you for listening.
They say kneel down and you'll find peace. In chains of gold, you're released. A pretty smile, a silent song. Is this where we all belong?